Greetings and welcome to the Talk to Me America show, where the world wants to know what you have to say. So call me and tell them like it is. Welcome. It's Thursday night time for another Talk to Me America show. I hope you guys have been having a great week. I am your hostess, Laura DGddss. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. Hope you guys are doing all well. Everything seems to be working. Everything's moving like it should, yeah. Once I verify that. Once I verify that, I go over and look at the chat. Make sure those are working. All right, welcome everybody. Let me go for my plugs real quick. Then we'll see who's in the chats. Of course, No Prisoners podcast with 451 Actual, Kevin's Chaotic Coffee, and Feisty Ace. Sometimes I get on there on Fridays. They're almost exclusively on Pilled, which reminds me I am on YouTube and Rumble and Pilled and Odysee. So check me out. I do 4 of them because if one goes wrong, you guys can just jump over to the other. It's really easy. Pastor Shadley with the pond, and of course, if he's here somewhere, he is my main moderator. So be nice to him because he's mean. And of course, if he is here, which I can see him, I just saw him there. That means the pond is here. So welcome, pond. Appreciate y'all checking me out today. If you don't mind, at one point or another during the 2-hour show, check out one of the other platforms or get me on my actual show so I can get your numbers, and you can give me a thumbs up and all that crap, okay? And share and all that stuff. All right, Tyrone, or as I like to call him, Red on Radio or Squished the Drunken Rocky on right after my show, Coffee Talk with Sandra. I haven't seen her lately. Is she actually doing live feeds again? Raynoth DJ Based and all my friends and smigs out there. Some guy from Maine, Ruguru, Not Me Be and Town with the schedule, Pure Blood Media Group schedule, new and improved. This you can actually make plans with it now, like you used to could with your TV guide. You just head and you don't have to search the whole thing to see when someone's. It narrows it all down to that day, and within those times, it's cool. I think they did a fantastic job. And just when I think they can't upgrade it anymore, they do. So, also, if we're getting enough, seems like we're getting enough traffic and advertisers to keep them on the air. So I'm glad to see that. Very, very. Make sure you go over there too. It's community.pureblood.tv. Of course, you know how to support my channel. There's my my merch page. I didn't think about doing it. I got a couple of ideas, but I thought this would be better. I make toys. I make things. I can make clothes. I can make. I'll show you a few things here in a minute that I made this week. I didn't do any crocheting. I've got to take the time from making stuff to be able to put some more stuff, list some more stuff on there. Because you saw my Pepe that I did, my Warrior Pepe. This week I worked on acrylics. My sister-in-law found some really awesome jar molds at some garage sale. Let me biggie. Some jar molds at some garage sale. Now this particular one, I always wanted this one, but I was like, nah, I don't really feel like buying it or whatever. So this one came to me. It's real neat. They call it a wish jar, but I think we can turn it into something else, or an anything you want jar. And I haven't decided what I'm going to decorate it with, if I'm going to decorate it. But it came out a lot better than I anticipated. And this is cool. I don't know if you can see the different change in colors and everything like that. A bunch of saw a video on how to save or how to extend your two-part epoxy resin. I say use really colorful beads and or use you're supposed to use more of an opaque color for it, but this just happened to work out perfect. Put it this way, when you make something and you would keep it for yourself, it's definitely going to sell. So I just have to find a time now to list it on the site. And of course that site still has a few problems. But you guys have my email. You can talk to me about anything you want. That's how you support my channel. All right. And of course, Crochet is back. Check this out. He actually crocheted an anvil. And he makes funny videos with his creations. I wish I'd have come up with it, but I don't have the kind of time it takes to do this kind of thing. Not only does it take a few hours or so to make something like he's got in his hand right now, but of course you guys, any of you guys know what it takes to make the videos, especially if you have to act them out first. Recording yourself is really hard. These stars are always talking about, oh, how hard acting and everything is. Yeah, wait till you have to do all of it yourself. The editing, the scripting, the placing the camera and stuff like that. And I actually think this guy has a small crew. Somebody actually at least takes the pictures of him. So, but maybe not. We'll see. This is pretty funny, and it'll probably bring you back to the days of Bugs Bunny.
I just crocheted this sweet anvil. Let's test it out.
Ah, what a beautiful yarn-free day.
It works! It works!
I just crocheted this sweet anvil.
And if you notice, he actually crocheted and made two of those. One to fit on the guy's head, and then this one here. But that was, yeah, brutal. But he's so fun. And he's starting to teach how to make those different things. And of course, I've got the Ko-Fi, the Cash App, Odysee, and Rumble, of course. And I see one, and I will acknowledge you here in a second. All the fun stuff on pill.net. They have pills and cookies and cans and spaceships and phones, so you can phone home if you're in outer space. I imagine that's what they know how to party over there on pill.net, and I'm glad to be over there. It's still the epitome, the actual only so far epitome on the internet that I know of. All right, so all of my links are below. Everything else, so click on some of them, will you? I even have a P.O. box if you want to go old school. So, best thing to do is share, fire, thumbs up, share. Did I say share? Yeah, share. We have to keep this freedom of speech trend going, because you don't want to give it up voluntarily, of course, which is what they really want you to do when they're trying to get you to do. But we are winning, and we don't want to become complacent. Never become complacent, because, again, by any means necessary is their motto. So, all right. Now, and especially now, no time to shut up, don't shut up. Never a good time to shut up. All right. Besides, no matter what's going on, what happens, Christ is with us. We've already won. All right. So, all right. I'm going to start over here on Odysee and thank Space Pirate Yvonne for the donation. I appreciate it.
Hey, look, green paper. Green paper.
Let's see what he said. I read what he said. It's still on the. Oh, here we go. Eat a bag of yar. Okay, dude. With that little colorful thing he has. I like that. You made that, right? Or did AI help you? That's really, really neat. Okay, let's see. Blankets is here. Salty Matt Jameson. Russian Bot. Good afternoon. Good evening, whatever. Super Trucker. Welcome to the show. Appreciate y'all being here. Kids shouldn't fear school shooters. My plan is just to have them worry about nuclear war. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, it brings back memories. It was one of the things we were worried about back in the 80s. That and acid rain. So, yeah. As I get older, I recognize the pattern of every time they tell us we're going to have this problem in 10 years, in the 10th year or so, or a little after, they come up with something completely different. And it never happens. Let's see. Pastor Shadley, of course. Oh, my ninja, and I'm your ninja. Hello, good evening. Abtide, welcome to the show. Salty, I like that one. Salty Matt Jameson with Lucy and Charlie Brown. Sure, I tricked you for 4 years, but you can trust me now. And that's just the thing. She didn't really trick anybody. She just been kind of sliding on through, you know. I don't think she thought she was gonna actually be where she is either. So, let's see. Main moderator. Yeah, man, he's every day. He's here for every show. I don't see you, but you're a moderator too. Sorry about that. Space Pirate Yvonne is a moderator on Odysee. Actually, Pastor Shadley is a moderator on all of the platforms except for YouTube. Screw to. Let's see. Okay, I get everybody. They're going crazy with the Can Killer. Welcome. Hello. All right. I don't see anyone. There's someone here on YouTube, but they are lurking. That's fine. We love our lurkers over here. We've got Cy. Hello, Cyborg. How art thou? Hope you're doing well. And Mr. Tizo. And I'm sure we got a couple of lurkers over there. In fact, I find out who's lurking if I ever remember to do a raid. That's why I've been asking about Sandra too. She said she had some computer problems the last time I heard, and that was like one thing. And over here on Rumble, let's see, we got Salty Zipper Tits. Greetings. There we go. And limited access. Thank you very much for the donation. You get one of these.
Hey, look, green paper.
Green paper.
And you're not that late. I just got finished. You're just actually where the you got in just in time. There goes Rocky, Drunken Rocky, who shows on after mine. He's over there on Rumble. And of course, as you all come up and everything like that, I'll try to acknowledge you. Yell at me if you can. We'll open the phone lines in a little bit. All right. First and foremost, I want to forward my thoughts and prayers, and I don't know if I can help or anything like that. My church isn't even like gathering anything to send to these people in like North Carolina or any place like that. So I've got some old clothes I can donate and stuff that's believe it or not too big for me now. All right, so if anybody knows anybody in my area that's doing that kind of thing, let me know. But also, thoughts and prayers to my neighbors in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and they're dealing with the horrid aftermath of Hurricane Helene and now Milton. If someone needs help, shout out if you can help, if you can, and if you're able to help them, please help them, even if it's just a shoulder to cry on. Just being there sometimes means the world. Lizzie Long Toes, welcome to the show, my famous friend. Thank you for the donation.
Hey, look, green paper.
Green paper.
Hi, Laura. Mom didn't want your meat show. Like my midriff? Actually, though, when I hear the word mids, it makes me think sound when I'm doing sound. So, didn't want my mids to show. Okay. I would imagine is saying that mom didn't want to miss the show. Am I correct? I get it. All right. Shout out if you can help them. If you're able to help anybody. Like I said, seems that the only thing that will help these folks now will be the grace of God and the people He works through. I talked about last week how if this kind of stuff happens, go and look for the helpers. I'm incensed that I'm seeing these military copters. What did he call it? Copter sweep or whatever it was. Shame on you. Shame on you. If whoever's doing that. That's terrible. So, come on, FEMA, electric chainsaws. Come on, in places that don't have 1 amp of electricity. Who's running this gig for this and for Rotor Wash? Thank you, Salty Matt Jameson. But it's like, yeah, who's running this show? AOC? That literally sounds like something she would do. Okay, maybe it was her suggestion. They were following her suggestion, and I bet I know where they got them from too. Well, anybody want to take a guess? Didn't they outlaw gasoline engines for small appliances, I guess? In California. So, yeah. So, just the more that happens and the more that I hear, the more I was just shaking my head. Just shaking my head. Although, Congressman from North Carolina, Jeff Jackson, about 3 days ago came out with this update, if you will. This is his state. I don't know how much of it I believe. This is a gentleman that basically I showed you a couple of months ago that came out and told everyone on his Instagram that the reason why you hear a lot of these politicians hollering is because you can hear them. As soon as the cameras go on, they start to rage and all this other stuff, like with AOC and everything like this. He says, as soon as the cameras go off, we go back to our business and talking regular and doing regular business. So this is that guy. He was only 100 days into his candidacy though too, or his election though too. Now he's been there for 2 years, something like that. Oh, maybe not that long, maybe a year. But here is his update from his state.
I'm just going to tell you what is actually happening in Western North Carolina, because there's a lot of stuff flying around. I'm a major in the National Guard, just met with our top general, the head of FEMA, our governor, and the vice president. I asked the FEMA director how this disaster is different from others she's worked on, and she said it's about how wide the path of destruction is. For a sense of scale, here are the roads that are closed. This is a quarter of our state.
See that?
This happened because these are the mountains, and in the mountains, the roads follow the rivers. So when the rivers flood, they can wash away the roads. You are looking at dozens of counties, hundreds of towns, thousands of communities. 90% of the folks who lost power now have it back, but that last 10% will be a major challenge. Dozens of water facilities are still offline. The Army Corps of Engineers is working on that. Sometimes it means rebuilding, sometimes it just means bringing in a generator to make sure they have power. The North Carolina National Guard is loading up their C-17s and flying them out there. We also have Black Hawk helicopters, but we don't have Chinooks. Those are the cargo helicopters. So the 82nd Airborne has brought in some of theirs, and the Connecticut National Guard has brought down some of theirs, and that has been incredibly useful. We now have the National Guard from 10 different states helping us out, in addition to the 82nd Airborne, the 18th Airborne Corps, and the 101st Airborne. That means we have thousands of soldiers on the ground. 700 folks from FEMA, another 2,000 federal workers from different departments, dozens of nonprofits, Red Cross, Salvation Army, Samaritan's Purse, they're all there. And let's address some specific rumors. No one's land is being taken by FEMA. FEMA doesn't even have the authority to do that. There's no blockade on private aid. There is an enormous amount of private aid rolling in. The only people being turned away are the ones headed down a road that's been destroyed, and a checkpoint is telling them, don't go that way, the road has been destroyed. If you want to bring in a private plane full of supplies, you can do that. The only issue is there's now triple the normal amount of air traffic because of all the planes bringing in supplies, and there have been a bunch of near misses in the air, so they're just asking folks, get in touch with the Emergency Operations Center, let them know you're coming, and the FAA will clear you to land. And contrary to what one of my coworkers in Congress suggested, the government did not create the hurricane. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but here we are. People on the internet can be pretty divisive, but the people on the ground are pulling together. And what they have accomplished in the last week is remarkable. And the support they're getting is just the beginning of a long-term commitment. And I will keep you posted. Hey, folks,
All right. So, somebody doesn't believe him. He says, why does this guy seem like he's lying through his teeth? It felt that way to me too. Like I said, he seemed like he was telling the truth after his 100th day as a congressman, but now that he's been there for a while, I would probably imagine he got scolded pretty good after that first admission that these people are doing it just for the rage bait. He said basically these TV producers, if they know that they're going to give them the viewers by doing this, they'll give them the advertisements, they'll give them the TV time and stuff like that. Cyborg says, this peon is a liar. The CPU in my PC is surface area as... Okay, I'm not... Sorry, I'm not going to read that number. They tampered with the dam and caused it to fall. I actually was wondering about that, and I've only heard little tiny specks, but usually the stuff that gets covered the least is the most true. For some reason or another, before that storm hit up there, and you know, they may not have created a storm, but they sure aren't going to let the thing go to waste. And something about the dams up there, I wasn't even real sure where they were until I heard a little peep about it after this, saying that, oh, this dam is A-okay now. So I don't even remember where I saw it. It must have been passing while I was doing something else, while I was lurking somewhere else. The Patriots are on the ground, and they have a good handle on it. Get out of... Yeah, put it this way. Sting wrote a song once, and this is another reason I can't believe he went left. They got to have something on these guys for them to be in this much of a line. A cult. I don't even want to know. But Sting wrote it. So I never saw the government take over anything and ever make it better. So many words. You know, as a matter of fact, and the other line was something about the politicians just seem like game show hosts. Now they, yeah, okay. That's, you know, and I'm hearing this a lot lately. I guess because a lot of people don't want to outright accuse somebody of something or something like that, but they say, oh, it seems like this or it seems like that. You know why it seems like that? Because that's what's happening. I keep hearing this, oh, it really seems like such and such is happening. And I'm watching it happen as they're talking about it. It's like, you know why it seems like that's happening? Because you're looking at it, you're watching it. It's happening. So, Limited Dag says, thank you for the donation over there on Rumble. That's the way to do it.
Hey, look, green paper.
Green paper!
She says MonkeyWorks has other information, so I don't believe that these were created. That these weren't created. Well, I think also too, one of the things they're trying to do is confuse the hell out of you. Again, it's another way of dividing us. Just almost like, I don't know, the suggestion of flat earth and round earth and all that stuff. Guys go so fast on these chats. But yeah, it's because. So I really and truly, I think they got to this guy. He seemed really sincere, and I'm not gonna disparage his service, if you will. Although it's getting to the point of where I'm noticing that a lot of servicemen are getting, or upper echelon servicemen are getting to be in politics, and we know how McCain was. I was going to say, just because, I respect everyone's service to their country and everything like that, but that does not absolve them from being bad any other time. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I had several people that I knew back in the day when I was younger that were World War II veterans, and they were awful. So no excuse for that. I'm sorry. Thank you for your service, but you don't get a pass on everything else. Okay? I guess you can call me pragmatic about that kind of thing. So one of the main reasons why you do that, supposedly, is that you're a good guy. Greater good, as they would put it. When you open the phone, and I'm going to talk about what. Okay, Cyborg. All right, I'm going to show you a couple more things and talk for another minute, and I'll put the phones on. I'll let you know. You know I will. All right. Anyway, I like this guy's advice more, and I've been listening to some of his older rants, if you will, or his whatever it is. He want to call his common sense, his speech, his speaking, and everything like that. And a lot of it is you can apply it to today. I can only imagine what he would say today. If he was here today, he'd be like 90, literally. He was born in 1940. Anyway, Frank Zappa, my friends.
People have given up caring about the responsibility they have to be citizens or part of a community. And I know this sounds really old-fashioned, but remember, I'm 40 years old. I'm not a teenager, and I'm looking at this in a very realistic way. Everybody out there who's watching this tape is a young person. Maybe you're seeing this in a high school or something. You want to have a good time. Yeah, great. But after you're done having a good time, you better think just a minute. Your parents are not taking care of business. Your neighbors are not taking care of business. And if you don't take care of your own business, when you get big and you got to take the rap for all this stuff, you're really going to be in deep. You better start thinking about this now. You want to go out and have a good time? I'm not your dad. Go have a good time. But when you're done having a good time, come back to reality and remember that the future of the world is you, not them. And so if you're unprepared for it, you're looking at a real bad time in the future. Nobody's going to take care of you. You're going to take care of yourself. People have...
One of the things that inspired the title for today's show, but I think I have a little bit more levity than I have bad news.
Manager,
today.
I was calling to let you.
People have given up.
I have a very sensitive mouse. Anyway, though, I'm getting to the point again where I don't know what to believe anymore from any of those people, any of our politicians, media, and all that stuff, even on our side, believe it or not. And mind you, what he posted was 3 days ago, which would have been over 7 days since the storm. In fact, I saw somebody mention on here earlier, why it took you guys so fucking long. Don't forget what I pointed out last week, too, about the mines Yeah, Mr. Tizo, you like Frank Zappa? That's pretty cool. That's a Terry Gilliam type of animation there. So and this is and of course the help and all of this updates and oh my god, everybody's pitching in and it's great. Oh, for fantastic and everything like that. It's after a bunch of actual citizen videos and backlash, lots of backlash. And the fact that Trump brought his attention to it. He was there on day one with help. All right. So this guy seems pretty straightforward, but DC is DC. Don't forget, they even at one time had to accept slavery back in the day to get deals done for everyone. Just think who they're dealing with now. Ugh. All right. Time to open the phone lines. All of a sudden, I have this stupid co-pilot thing. I do not want to use AI. So far, I haven't been able to get AI to make anything even close to what I describe, like for pictures and videos and stuff. So I just don't mess with it. Yvonne fixed Laura's sensitivity mouse ebb-tide. It doesn't need to be. Don't forget, I still have little tweaks here and there. I sound good, but I'm not 1,000%. All right, so the phone lines are open. Anyone got anything to say? Maybe call if you. All right, somebody's really fast. Greetings, you're on the air.
Well, hello there. As promised, it's Cyborg today. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Even better now. Zom!
It's certainly good to hear you.
Thank you. It's good to be heard.
Well,
I'm very, very happy. I've actually been able to start walking straight more often now too. I'm really coming along, and I blame everybody on here for that because I'm sure it's because of your prayers for me.
well, it is, and we have been praying for you because we love you, and we hope you get back to some sort of semblance of normality, whatever that means. I don't know what normality is anymore, but we are super happy that you're approaching it.
Me too. It means I'll be able to help more people or be able to help better. I don't know. One thing I can tell you is that I have been more motivated than ever to just create stuff. Most of it I can't stand, and a lot of it I'm experimenting with. But yeah, I've been going crazy. If I'm not taking care of hubby, of course. When I'm not doing that, I'm making stuff. Like you saw the jars that I made.
Right.
And when I get a chance to sit down, I literally have started. I'll sit down like after dinner or after whatever it is for the day, and I'll fall asleep crocheting now. So that's a pain. That's actually a pain because of the fact that if I'm in the middle of a row, I have to figure out where I was and what happened. Usually I have a marker, but it's crazy.
Believe it or not, I know the basics of crocheting, and I even had a girlfriend that was teaching me how to knit, and it's not easy. It's super hard. You got to really be on your stuff to get that where you need to go.
Yeah.
So big props to you.
Thank you.
That's actually great therapy, I think.
Yeah, well, I made your teddy bear before I had a stroke, and I made the one that your friend bought after. Which one do you think was better?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to share bias because I have one and my friend has the other, but I really love them both. They're both fantastic. They have both got so many compliments from all the people that I work with every day.
Awesome.
So they're super happy about it. She was happy to spend the money. Although, you know what? She spent the money and gave it back to me. I paid for it, but she paid me back. And then I just took that money and I donated that to the efforts in North Carolina and stuff.
Okay.
You know, however we can to help the people that are having problems, and they are having problems.
Right.
So it
That's
all
what we're
works
here
out.
for.
Yeah, to make that money help as much as possible, whatever it takes. So I wrote in there briefly that since we were talking about Frank Zappa, and King Crimson, although not Frank Zappa, was a spin-off of Frank Zappa in its own little way.
Mm-hmm.
Because Adrian Belew was part of King Crimson,
Mm.
and Adrian Belew was playing with Frank Zappa for a while, as was Steve Vai. So Steve Vai, Tony Levin, and Adrian Belew are the core of King Crimson in its modern incarnation. And they just added Danny Carey from Tool on drums. That's an amazing combo of people. You have no idea. That's so amazing. I'm so excited about that. Anyhow, I know you're a Frank Zappa fan, but Frank Zappa's dead, but the music lives on.
Oh, yeah.
King Crimson's doing it.
Oh, okay,
So,
great. Well, I'm actually upset with Dweezil this time around. He's doing another tour, but he's not coming anywhere near me this time.
Well, that bummer. Hey,
if you get a chance, though,
he's a sparky old man.
Yeah, if you get a chance, though, go see him. He plays his old man's music, and his old man would be proud.
I believe so. He's a really phenomenal player. But King Crimson is taking the ideas of what Frank Zappa might have had, and they're going somewhere with it. I can't wait to hear Danny Carey do drums for King Crimson. It's a weird matchup, but I'm excited. So
cool.
So we listen to the radio, and the radio's mostly garbage, like Lady Gaga and Cardi B, but there is good music being made, so it's not all hope is lost.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We were going to talk about weather modification.
Okay. Real quick, though, let me acknowledge a few people that just arrived. The Gray Man, welcome to the show. He says, someday I'll have to show you the teddy bear. Oh, okay, the teddy bear my mom made out of my dad's favorite shirts after he passed. Oh, yeah, I've seen that idea. As a matter of fact, I made one out of one of my sister's skirts, and I messed it up so bad. So, yeah, I got to start over. But I got most of her clothes, so, I mean, I can do that. I wanted to do that for my mother.
That's really cool.
That's cool. That's really cool. I love that idea, and I would love to see it sometime. And Limited Access asked me, are my jars on my site? No, but I can put them on there. I just have to. When you put stuff on the site, you got to take pictures. You got to come up with a description for it. You got to come up with a price. You got to come up with. It really is actually a long, drawn out. Believe it or not, but I got to do it. I know I got to do it. It's just there's only 24 hours in a day, so I feel like I will get that on there. Or if you have something that you would like a special color or something like that, I'd be glad to. Take it. She says, I love my heart too. And stained glass hangers, your angel has a special place in my bedroom. Yeah, I sent her some extra goodies when she ordered that pillow from me. And always knock that down.
So you sent me as an extra a little plastic heart with like a dog paw in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And that came in real handy because all the nurses that work in the center, they all have, well, not all of them, but most of them have some sort of heart tack stuck on their stethoscopes. So I donated that to one of the nurses, and she loves it. So.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's very cool. I thought you may possibly do that. I make those for hospital personnel with their name tags and things like that sometimes when I get a chance.
Perfect for that.
Thank you, Limited Access. Love my heart too, Laura. And the stained glass hangers, your angel has a special place. Alter, I'll go look thinking about the electric skull. Oh, okay. she likes my. He's just blingy. He's not electric. Or I probably called him that. I had to come up with a name, but But thank you for the donation. You get one of these.
Hey, look, green paper. Green paper.
All right. So tell
Thank
me.
you, limited access.
So tell me. Like I say, the angel that I sent her was part of my recycle art. I take old jewelry. And I made this in like 2012. I've been doing this for a long time. Let me give you the big screen so I can show you recycle art. I take jewelry and make little pictures. In fact, I'm going to get off camera for a second and show you.
There we go.
As a matter of fact, I got this back from my sister. I never in a million years thought that I would get this back, but she was the one that took care of everything for my wedding, so I made her this. It's all jewelry butterflies. I took a router and made the bee into the wood and made the wood like in that shape. I don't know if you can see all of the butterflies, but I gave this.
At least something.
Yeah, I gave this to my sister when she took care of our wedding and everything. I never dreamed I would get it back. So
There's a little bit of delay between the phone call and the video.
Yep.
So I'm waiting for it to. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's really fun. That's awesome, Laura. That's beautiful.
Thank you. By trade, I'm a recycle artist, and I found a little rhinestone heart and a little piece of wood, and I thought, oh yeah, let's do that. But I mean, I painted and it's signed. See how my right hand's still butterfingers sometimes.
Yeah.
Stated and signed.
There is a universal secret to be learned through the recycling of things and energy. I can't tell you what it is because they'll come and kill me if I tell you. But the secret is in recycling. Anyhow, about weather modification.
Go for it.
During the Vietnam War, which is in the 60s, we first used the weather as a weapon. And it was primitive in form, but we seeded the clouds so that it would rain on the trails used by the supplies to supply the Viet Cong with ammunition and food, so that the rain ruined the roads so they could not resupply themselves. So we have been using weather as a weapon for over 60 years. Now, I mentioned earlier about my CPU and my computer. All right. The transistor was invented approximately at the same time, a little over 60 years ago. And those first transistors were the size of a pill bottle. They were big. You may remember transistor radios. They were big. They might have, right? And your transistor guitar amplifiers, the transistor was a tube, and they were huge, and they used a lot of energy, and they were very inefficient. But with our technology and our research, we have refined it over the decades, and now you can fit 9 billion transistors into just a couple centimeters of square space.
Oh yeah, they're tiny. Yeah. Miniaturization.
Right, miniaturization and efficiency and learning through research and just science in general. So if our transistors, which we invented only 60, 70 years ago, you can fit 10 billion of them in a thumbnail size of space. Imagine what we could do with the weather modification. We were already using it as a weather weapon in the 60s, 60-some years ago. So they don't brag about this because it's classified information.
So in other words, you're saying that guy that I showed you the video of is lying through his teeth?
He may not know this. So I don't want to blame him for the lies, but we have very high levels of control over our weather. They can guide hurricanes in a direction of their choosing. They can amplify them, and they can make them go where they want them to go. They may not necessarily be able to start the initial sea of the storm, although I believe they can do that too. I believe they have enough control over hurricanes and even tornadoes that they can get them where they want them to go. So because of the benefits to the establishment that are going to be gained through the destruction of the Carolinas, I believe that was all intentional. They designed all of that.
Okay, I don't remember if I
No.
saved this or not. Someone had posted a video. If it looks animated to me, I usually kind of just roll past it, but this one kind of caught my eye. Let me see if I can find it, because I saved it a long time ago. Or, well, when this first happened. And I don't even know, I saw it. I don't even know if I saved it. Come on. Keep
The gray
going.
man mentions that the gray man mentions that the rich people have ski resorts that have basically artificial snow dumped on them so they can keep skiing. And that's true. I imagine they use it for that. For example, there is a company in the UK that can guarantee you that your wedding will be either rain-free or rained upon, your choice.
I see.
You pay the money and they guarantee you get rain or not. So the technology has even extended into the private area, not just limited to the government. But the government has all the cards in that respect. And I'm extremely confident that our government has absolute control over the weather. They may not control all of it, but if they want a hurricane to strike somewhere 500 miles inland, they can do it, which is what they did.
Well, it's like I say, also, too, I remember hearing little bits and pieces about the dams up there in the rivers. So, and then afterwards, I heard another little whisper or something, whatever it was I heard, that all of a sudden those dams are A-OK now, some update. So, I didn't save those either. I didn't think anything of it. What can I tell you? Didn't even think about it until after they announced that they were okay. And it's like, wait a minute. Didn't I hear about some dams that were supposed to bust? If they didn't do something, there was going to be something happen or whatever. I wonder who ended up having to play Hank Hill. Oh, limited access with another donation says PSY Germany and France starred these in the Atlantic just outside of Africa. I believe Monkeyworks. Okay. Thank you for the donation. You get one of these. Actually, you get a couple of these. Where is it? Oh, wrong one.
Hey, look, green paper. Green paper.
I'm on the other side. Didn't they also just recently have let's see, she said oh wow, want one of them, hell yeah, butterfly recycle. Well, that one is not for sale. The B is not for sale. That's still one of my initials, and it kind of has a sentimental value to me. So sorry, that one's not for sale. But here, you get one of these again.
Hey, look, green paper.
She's sending me a bunch of these donations. I really do appreciate it. She says also. Let's see. I would like some pressed flowers in a stained glass hanger. Several. That I can do. Here you go. And here's your.
Hey, look, green paper. Green paper.
Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Thank you so much for the donations. Limited access. I really do appreciate you. Excuse me. Yeah, there are planes from these countries, but not Ness. The government, but I don't trust NATO. Is this something you just said? I'm sorry. Put up the Christian stuff. Okay. Angels.
I know that I don't trust FEMA in this. They have been doing some shenanigans. So they don't seem to want to help the people there. So all the help that's going there is from their neighbors, which is probably better. That's the way it should be, I think. The people here in the South are a different sort. They're extremely happy to help their neighbors, where you wouldn't probably see that as much in California or Arizona or other places.
Well, I did see that it doesn't really happen in the East as much as it does down here South. But during Sandy, they were pretty cool with each other up there. I guess it just depends on the community, because I can remember people talking about going to one person's house that might have had a generator, because there was another town that never prepares for this kind of thing. They hadn't had one so long. And I remember them talking about, if anybody had power or electricity, they would let everybody in the neighborhood use, to charge their phones and stuff like that. Although they called Sandy a superstorm, and I don't understand why, because it was right after Katrina, and it wasn't anywhere near as damaging or as bad as Katrina was. I think it was just a matter of the fact, like they say, those people don't prepare for that kind of thing very often, because the cold weather usually keeps it away from them up there.
And it's similar here too. These are mountain people, and they're up in the mountains, and a lot of them did not have flood insurance, because floods aren't a common thing up in the mountains.
No, they sure
up in the
aren't.
mountains.
Nope.
So
No, and they're not even like, it's not even like the rivers were full from melting snow or anything. That shit had already happened. So, yeah, something's fishy. Like I said, they may not have created the actual hurricane, but they damn sure are. They never let a good crisis go to waste.
That's part of it, yeah. Well, we watched that storm go from basically nothing, a big old nothing burger, to a super strong storm that made it 500 miles inland.
Yeah.
I'm actually more than that, and I was in the storm. The storm's eye was still intact right over me, and we're 500-600 miles away from the sea. So it's pretty amazing that it got here, and we got at least 12 inches of rain just a couple days.
Oh, that's right.
Amazing amount of rain.
I'm still looking for this thing that I think I saw. There was like I say, it was a video of they were showing, I think it was some kind of, I can't think of the word now. When you look at the radar, some kind of radar picture, and it was showing that particular. Oh no, I didn't save it. Okay. It was showing that particular storm, and at one point it was showing a whole bunch of spots all the way around it on the western side of it, and southwestern side of it, and the southeastern side of it. All of a sudden you saw all these flashes of light like go off around it, like it was guiding somewhere. So no telling what that was. Although the one time when we had a lot of rain over here, I caught something really strange on my radar. I was looking at the radar, and other people have noticed these too. Sometimes when they get a lot of rain that they didn't expect or something like that, but it looks like a spiral on the radar, like almost like radio waves. Or like they depict radio waves. You can't really see them.
Well, it could be. Now, let me tell you something here. So we all know about HARP, the High Altitude Auroral Research Program. Now, that was based in Alaska, out in the middle of nowhere. Now, most of us are familiar with that, but that's in Alaska. That was just a research program, and that started like 60 years ago. At about the same time they started using weather as a weapon. We started researching this, and that's just the research program, and we learned from that. And what you see there at the HARP location in Alaska is just an array of antennas. And it's actually pretty big, right? And that was just a test field. They learned from that. They made it more efficient, and they made the array smaller. and they put them on top of high rises in most U.S. cities. I used to walk. I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was real close to the downtown, so I would be down there all the time. And because I'm kind of a dork and kind of a nerd, I would look up at the tops of the buildings pretty often because, you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting Phoenix skyline.
Yeah.
And on the top of the buildings, they had antenna arrays that were not for cell service. They were not for TV. They were not for radio. They were for something else. And the array of antennas they had made good sense that they might be related to what they were doing at HARP. So I strongly believe that they have these installations in many locations. And they don't have to be as big as they were in Alaska. They learned how to refine it. We have improved our technology.
Russian bot just posted a picture over here on Odysee of a platform like that with it looks like a big weather dome or something in it in the middle of it.
Right.
United States patent. United States patent, how to steer a hurricane.
Right. So they know how to do it, and they have the technology in place to do it. And so they're doing it.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're not going to brag about it. So here's the problem. We call this stuff conspiracy theory, and the average Joe isn't going to believe it until they hear it from the government, because they still believe that the government is the reference of truth. But the government is doing nefarious crap that's illegal, and they're not going to tell you what they're doing because they would get strung up and hung for doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, we can't look to the government as confirmation of the bad shit they do. So it's a fallacy of logic to need the government to confirm our suspicions. We must not trust the government whatsoever because they do all the nasty shit. So I know that the group of pawn friends and the people that are listening to you, they're aware of this.
Oh yeah.
But the normies are not.
Well,
They
that's the
have to
reason why I
learn.
ask everybody to share. Because the whole point is trying to get the truth out there. And we are the news.
Right.
That's why we can't trust the government. We can't trust the media or anything like that. We have to pass it on among ourselves, and that's always the way. Again, like I say, if even it's just to remind people that every time the government takes something over, they make it worse. I've never seen the government ever make anything better that they've taken over. Look at education. Look at all of these different programs that are supposed to be helping people, and what's happening to people in North Carolina. What's happening to people, you know? So yeah.
The normies,
if this
the
doesn't
normies
prove
see that as
anything like that to you, then I don't know what to tell you. You know,
right.
May God have mercy on your soul.
All right. The normies are going to view that as incompetence or stupidity, but it's not that. It is deliberate. They're going to have trouble accepting that they are being warred upon. We are being actively warred upon by our own fucking government. They declared war. You might remember when the official pants shitter of the president declared war upon us by calling us all domestic terrorists.
Oh, you mean when he did that speech with the red background and that looked like as he called the opponent Hitler? Yeah, I remember that. Limited access. Yeah. You must have come in to some fundage. Thank you so much for the donation. She says, I hate to tell you, but it's up to us to wake up the loved ones around us. Yes, indeed. But We can't, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Hey, look, green paper. Green
Right, you can show them the door, but you can't make them go through it.
And don't forget also,
Okay.
too, a lot of people have been indoctrinated so much that I don't care how much information you give them. Like Yuri Bezmenov said, they'll fight to keep the lie going because it's
That's
something that they've been programmed for so long. So, you know,
Right, they
do
kinda
everything
beat it
that you
into their head.
can, but I mean, don't you know, like I say, all you can do is tell them, all you can do is show them, but that may, you know, a lot of times, and this is something that black conservative perspective says a lot. He says, and he proves it a lot of times too with what he comes up with. He says, but one of the only ways that you're going to be able to red pill some of these people is to give them what they're asking for. The only time, because look at Anna Kasparian now. They're going absolutely crazy over her because she's finally come to her senses. She's been working towards it slowly and gradually for the last at least 2 years. But she basically has told, she told somebody in a podcast the other day, no, I'm not with the left anymore. I still feel like I'm progressive, she said, but this is not progressives. This is not the way progressives works and everything like that. Says I'm done with the left. So they're all pissed off now because she actually perpetrated a lot of this stuff before it backfired on her. And you know what changed her mind? This is the first time I ever heard this. Supposedly the thing that changed her mind was that she was out walking her dog one day, and she saw 2 homeless men over there ahead of her. She actually was an idiot for doing this, but she says she bent over to pick up her dog's mess, and then all of a sudden this one homeless man was grabbing her by the hips and humping her. She had a heart on and everything. Like she was sexually assaulted. That's what finally changed her mind about this shit. But she was the one where oh yeah, open borders are fantastic and you know, California laws are great, we're progressive and this and the other. Well, she got a taste of what that actually does when you absolutely ignore crime and this kind of thing. And that's why I say now everybody's pissed off at her because she's pointing this shit out. But like I say, how can you not? But the only reason people are like they are, some of it, is because none of this shit has ever happened to them, and they think that it will never happen to them because they're so virtuous. Look at how many people I've made aware of bullshit.
Here's another example of how effective the propaganda is. So, at the Democrat National Convention, George W. Bush voiced his support for Kamala Harris, at which point the entire left welcomed him into the fold.
Oh, that's not even the worst of it. They actually are ecstatic over his vice president's as well, Cheney.
Right?
Yeah.
They've embraced those two with wide open arms. Oh yeah, come on in, George W. Bush. You used to be the literal Antichrist, and Dick Cheney was literally Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
But you come on in. We are so glad to have you on our side.
Well, I think that they think neocons still follow these guys, or people still follow these guys, I guess. But that's laughable. That's why I say we can still laugh. Nobody's coming to save you, but we can still laugh for a while. And a lot of this stuff is ridiculous. And so many people just rolling their eyes, even now on the left, going, "Are you serious, Cheney?" But I think that Liz Cheney's vying for a place on the cabinet when if Kamala makes it in there, because you know how badly she lost. But she's got to. It's like Washington is like a drug to them. It's like once they get, because you know who else I'm seeing now too is that comedian writer from Saturday Night Live. I remember him as Stuart Smalley. I'm starting to see him.
God.
I'm starting to see him sneaking back into some of these panels on, I believe it was MSNBC or CNN or something like that. So he's another one. that he didn't. He's another one that cheated or pretty much sued to get his political position where he was before they kicked him out for making that picture, which was assaulting a woman. All right, everybody say goodbye to YouTube. Nobody's there anyway right now, so bye YouTube. See ya.
YouTube Nasso. So yeah, the